I've been on the board. This is my 8th year on the board. I was first VP for 2.5 years, so I'm just trying to fill in the presidency until a new one is appointed. Prior to that, to my 8 years, I was actually a part of the very first recognition of this building as a historic African American building. When it was first discovered under the rubbles and bushes, I have been somewhat involved with this building since then. So it's a long time. The evolution has been just simply fantastic and unbelievable, and it's incredible how far it has come since that discovery to what it looks like now. That's an interesting question because the uncovering, the unfolding of the building was like for the honoring the veterans and their celebration. I think the historical aspect of it is what appealed to me most because I am not from Chestertown. You know, I'm a transplant, as they call us. So not knowing the history of Chestertown and just beginning to learn about the place and to learn about segregated Chestertown and how the town had changed, when this building was discovered, it just opened up a whole new area of historical understanding of Chestertown. It just threw light on the history of African American peoples and their outstanding contribution to the development of this community. And so this is what I keep emphasizing, what African Americans have done to build Kent County and Chestertown that seem to have just been ignored. Not forgotten, ignored. Well, you know, our signature program is Legacy Day. Very, very popular. We've had 10 years, and this will be the 11th year coming up. So what really impressed me with Legacy Day, that it sort of grew out of the thought and the idea that African Americans were not really welcome in Chestertown. They weren't a part of the Tea Party. They were reluctant to come in town for various and sundry reasons, which were real, you know. And so Legacy Day brought us to town, and not just us. Everybody came to celebrate. It was a truly integrated celebration of African American history and legacy. So I truly like that. I've been involved for many years, some years more often than the other because it's in August. Sometimes I'm not here, traveled away, but for the times I've been here, I try to be involved, try to be a part of working on that. The other programs center around the history of Chestertown, trying to make that become known. So that we've had panels or speakers. We've had the Henry Highland Garnett Symposium, where there's a topic on the history or a social event during the COVID. We had one online that had to do with African American resistance to some of the just research and development, especially when it comes to applying some of these methods because of the past injuries that have been done to them. So that was a pretty good discussion online. And we've had many others. Some I can't recall now. It's been years. And we do the jazz program. It's been very popular. We have coming up some musicals that are in the works. One is coming up in April. It's called a trio, music apart and together, and there are three outstanding performers who will be here with us. So we're hoping. We're a partner with the Heartland, the Chesapeake Heartland project, along with the Cultural Alliance and Washington College. So we have worked, we did get a grant from them where we celebrated, this is where a lot of the work that was done on the veterans, because that was our section that we had to work on. And our culminating activity, Legacy Day, we honored the veterans of Kent County. We co-sponsor programs. We work with, Starr Center, it sounds independent, but it is a part of Washington College, so we also work with the library, the Miller Library. They have been very instrumental in helping us to design some of our posters and to do, yes, because library and academic technology, there's an innovative area that does virtual reality, and so we're having our museum in a virtual world, so we can walk through the museum. Well, you've touched on them, and yes, I would say fundraising is our. We are getting grants, but we need to really be very intentional about raising money, and perhaps we need to be ambitious and say a significant amount of money, because we do have to maintain this building. And we would like to possibly get a museum manager full-time, so that the board, it's just volunteer work that we are surviving on. We have some really outstanding programs that we want people to know about, because in addition to the veterans and pursuing the historical research of Kent County, we are trying to develop a really good education program so that school children, the public school, can also benefit from what we do. We want to reach outside of the museum and go to them, to take some of this history, to invite them in to see our exhibits, and to probably do some performance here. We want them to understand and to know that this building, as it has always been a cultural center, we want them to be involved with Sumner Hall. So we have a couple of outreach programs to schools. We have what's called a teacher trunk, where we put together resources that can be loaned to the schools. And the teachers are in charge of them. They can build them into the curriculum, into their syllabus. And so far it has worked very well. We had a really good session last week with some middle school kids who came here, and they had a great time. And as you can see over there, they get involved and get all excited about some of our exhibits and the artifacts. And so we want them to learn the history by seeing and feeling and touching and hearing how and when and what happened here in Chestertown. Our newest venture, which I want everybody to also know about, is our book club. We now have a book club. The book club meets once a month, or I'd say once every 2 months. Usually the notice goes out. So far we've had, I think, 4 book club sessions. Yes, and they're very well attended. We have between 12 and 20 people attending these sessions. And conversation is easy. We can talk. It's a safe space for sometimes hard conversations about the books. It's an integrated book club. And so far, the response has really been good. You know, and people say, I really appreciate having this kind of conversation. You know, it's good that we can sit down and talk about these issues.